Criterion, the principle or standard by which something may be judged. Hey team, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and today we're talking about the new standard in the track lineup for heavy oil performance. It is the new Criterion, and it's new inside and out with brand new cover technology and brand new core technology. And before we get to all that goodness, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you tune into Track Bowling's social media pages, YouTube and Facebook, where Bossman and Trackman Rich Hansen is going to be doing an extra feature on this ball in particular. It's going to be a multi-part series that includes a little extra information on this brand new core because it is new technology in the track lineup, built on the back of the famous I-Core technology that was in the Paradox and the I-Core 3.0 Slim, I believe it was called, that was in the Archetype. So all of these are related, but this is a little bit different, and we'll get into that in 1 second. One other quick note for you guys, I'm now making YouTube shorts on all of the bowling balls that get released that do not have a new core in them. So if it's a follow-up to a previous ball in a series that contains the same core, I'm going to do a quick 1-minute review that, of course, in 1 minute is going to hopefully pack as much information as you need to know about where that ball fits in your arsenal. So make sure you check those out on my YouTube page, just the Shorts tab on my page. So now let's dive into it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I want to direct you to the actual Track Bowling website to get the details on this core information. But this one's pretty cool. It kind of has a different play on the same principle about using a multi-density core. This one is the Criterion multi-density core. Now, of course, let's get the numbers out of the way. This one has a 250 RG that is squarely in the middle for a medium revving core shape. It has an 052 total differential for very high flare potential, but not completely maxed out. And an 018 intermediate differential is in the high end of the medium range of intermediate differential. Remember, intermediate differential helps your response to friction when the ball starts to slow down and change directions. So this is going to be medium high in terms of response for the undrilled numbers. But this one does come with a twist, as I've been saying. It is multi-density, as you can see. The marketing image shows the full weight block and inner and outer together, but when you peel it away, you'll notice that this is actually a fairly cubic shaped inner core. But here's the trick. With the I-cores, all of the inner densities were heavier to give you a lower RG, tighter spinning, faster revving overall core. But uniquely, this new Criterion M.D core has a lighter density in this inner block, and the standard weight block that's poured around it is actually the higher density. And in effect, what this is doing is this is reducing the amount of mass that's at the center of this core. So although this core shape would generally relatively be an ultra low RG core shape, you'll notice that we're playing in a very medium RG range here at 250. And more than that, this weight block being less dense in the middle than the surrounding core body means that you've got more mass concentrated above and below the midband of this core, or above and below the geometric center, because the actual weight block is heavier than the inserted cubic piece. So what that means is, like you've heard in the context of the donut pucks, the puddles, all those types of multi-density pieces that we've been using here at the Brands of Brunswick, it gives you a more hourglass shaped core in terms of relative mass distribution, concentrates mass away from the center of mass of the core, which gives you a little more torque down the lane as opposed to an early quick revving and rolly response. So this is going to kind of change the motion profile of this core to be later and more continuous than you're used to seeing for those strong asymmetrical balls, which tend to be really early and really diggy. Of course, this one has dynamic core wrapped around the inner core, and the cover stock is the brand new HK22C, C stands for cohesion, QR12 solid cover stock. Now that's a mouthful, but we'll break it down by component. This is super easy. The HK22 means that it's our best base material. It's better for gliding through the front part of the lane and sticking and slowing down more in the mid lane. It's got the cohesion additive. You'll recognize cohesion additive from the hammer effect and also the vaporize in the shiny balls, as well as the solid but still shiny Deviate Wicked Collision but also in the sanded format. We have this Criterion, we have the Mesmerize, and we have the symmetrical ethos. So a lot of cohesion in a lot of these bowling balls, but all blended with different additive packages to get you different motions overall. But one thing comes in common with this cohesion additive. We called it cohesion because it absolutely glues to the back of the lane. When the ball encounters friction, it wants to continue to go left and dig. It does not want to give up and roll forward. So a more continuous, more sticky additive in HK22 cohesion. We've also got the QR12 additive package mixed in here. 12 is new to you guys. It was on one ball in the OEM market in a hybrid format, but it is just a slight tweak on the QR11 formulation that you guys are used to seeing. It was on all of the balls in the Paragon series and in the Archetype series. QR11 is a little diggy and early, so when we added cohesion, we just had to balance the additive package. So QR12 is just another iteration to make sure that it agrees with cohesion, and you will see familiar characteristics that are in all these good track balls. The Paragons, the Archetypes, and now the Criterion have been really impressive heavy oil performers. I don't really need to do a rundown on where you're going to use this ball. This is going to be the first ball out of your bag for heavy patterns, for speed dominant bowlers, and if you're bowling on sport conditions that are high in volume, even if they're medium in length, this one is going to be an incredible performer. But let's talk a little bit about the nuance, because track has a lot of amazing performing and successful top-end performing asymmetrical balls in their recent history. For a little brand, they've obviously been getting a lot of recognition. The original Blue Paragon was a real diggy, mid-laney monster, and people really liked that motion for its continuation and blendiness. However, it was so early, and of course this is before the era of HK, that it also did get a little bit of forward in situations where enough head oil wasn't present, that had a lower RG than the one we're working with here. The flip side of that coin is the Archetype. The original Archetype with its wild colors was originally a much higher RG with the I-Core Slim Core in it. Now that one got down the lane, loped a little bit, and then made a decisive move in the late mid lane, so certainly a longer and stronger, big, chuggy, asymmetrical ball as far as those are concerned. But also, because of the high RG and the quick response to friction, again, not an HK ball, that one did also tend to make kind of one jerking move in the late mid lane and get a little directional, get a little forward. This Criterion is going to fit squarely between them. It's going to be a medium revving ball in terms of where it starts up, but unlike these other two, it's not going to have such a forward path from the breakpoint to the pins. It is going to be surprisingly continuous, a little more of a sweeping motion as opposed to those mid lane strong and hook steady motions that the other two were akin to doing. But the characteristics of the cover stock blend and everything are still there, but certainly new core technology and the addition of cohesion are going to change that, and I think for the better as far as everyone's eye can tell. So I think I've talked enough. That's what I know about the brand new Criterion that's hitting pro shops on October 24th. Depending on my editing skills, it may or may not be before this video comes out. So make sure you stop into your local pro shop and pick one up. As always, make sure you follow me. It's absolutely free and it helps me, and it makes sure that you don't miss any content on the newest releases from the brands of Brunswick. If you have any questions about this track Criterion or how any of the track balls fit into your current arsenal, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm happy to respond whenever I have time. Make sure you check back often. I will be making new videos as new core releases come out in the brands of Brunswick. Until next time, thanks for watching.